The night has a way of holding its breath. In Maple Creek, nights were peaceful, a quiet people paid for, far from city chaos. On this Tuesday, the air was crisp, the stars bright, the moon a thin crescent. It seemed perfect, but perfection can hide secrets. In the quietest corners, a chilling stillness can take hold. Down on Elm Street, houses slept, shadows stretched long, but not every shadow is harmless. In one dark house, terror was about to unfold, shattering the town's illusion of safety. Evil doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it slips in on the quietest of nights. The stillness was about to be broken by a scream no one would hear. Her name was Clara Mae Thompson. At 68, she was a retired librarian, a woman of gentle habits and quiet dignity, who had lived alone on Elm Street for over 40 years. The house, with its yellow paint and creaking porch swing, had seen decades of her life unfold within its walls. Clara's days followed a gentle rhythm: tea at sunrise, the comforting warmth of her favorite mug in hand, and the soft patter of her terrier Pip's paws as they walked the neighborhood. She tended her roses with care, their blooms a testament to her patience. She lost herself in mystery novels and found purpose volunteering at the local animal shelter, where her kindness was cherished by both people and pets. Her life was peaceful, predictable, and full of small joys. Fresh flowers on the table, the scent of old books, the laughter of children passing by her window. She found contentment in the ordinary and comfort in her routines. Every Sunday, her children called from faraway cities. Clara always insisted she was fine, her voice warm and reassuring, never letting on if she felt lonely or vulnerable. She wanted them to believe she was safe and happy. Her yellow house was her sanctuary, filled with memories, laughter, and photographs of a life well lived. But as dusk fell and the lights glowed softly, someone watched from the shadows, unseen and patient. The routines that brought Clara comfort, her morning walks, the porch light left on until late, the open window for fresh air, became vulnerabilities she never considered. Each habit, so innocent, quietly revealed her patterns to anyone paying close attention. To her neighbors, these were simply Clara's quirks, the harmless habits of a friendly woman they'd known for years. But to a predator lurking in the darkness, they were opportunities, an open invitation to study her life, to find the cracks in her safety. Clara's quiet, carefully ordered world was about to collide with something sinister. The darkness outside her window was no longer just the night. She would never see it coming. The danger crept closer with every passing day, hidden behind the ordinary. The very peace she cherished, the routines she trusted, had drawn danger to her door, quietly, invisibly, until it was too late. And in a single, shattering moment, Clara's world was about to change forever, her sanctuary transformed by fear. His name was Roy Finch, a drifter with a history of petty crimes. He was the kind of man who slipped through the cracks, never staying in one place for long, always searching for the next opportunity. His eyes were sharp, always scanning, always calculating. People rarely remembered him, and that was exactly how he liked it. He arrived in Maple Creek, blending in with the quiet routines of the town, taking odd jobs and moving from one place to another, unnoticed by most. He swept floors, fixed fences, and kept to himself, never drawing attention. To the townsfolk, he was just another face passing through. But Roy was always watching. He lingered in the shadows, observing the lives of others with a cold detachment. He noticed things others missed, the way people locked their doors, the times they left their homes, the patterns that made them vulnerable. He saw Clara, alone, predictable, vulnerable. She walked the same route every evening, her head down, lost in thought. Her routines were as regular as clockwork, and Roy took note of every detail. He mapped her life, her walks, her habits, the old lock on her back door that never quite latched. He watched her windows, memorized the times her lights went out, and studied the weak points in her home's defenses. For Roy, this was business. A quick score, no empathy, no remorse. He didn't care about Clara or her life. To him, She was just another mark, another opportunity to get what he wanted and disappear before anyone noticed. He picked his night, Tuesday, when the neighborhood was silent, when most people were inside, lost in their own worlds. The streets were empty, the houses dark, and the silence was thick. He planned every detail: dark clothes, gloves, mask, the kitchen window left open just a crack. He rehearsed his steps in his mind, making sure nothing would go wrong. Every move was calculated, every risk weighed. He told himself it would be simple, in and out. He'd done this before, and he was confident nothing would stop him. The thrill of the hunt was all he needed to keep his nerves steady. But predators rarely control the chaos they unleash. No matter how carefully he planned, there was always the chance that something unexpected would happen. A noise, a light, a sudden movement. The quiet night was his cover, wrapping him in darkness as he moved closer to his target. The world outside was still, unaware of the danger creeping closer. He was ready to strike. Every muscle in his body was tense, every sense alert. He moved with purpose, silent and unseen. Clara was just an obstacle, a detail in his plan. He felt no guilt, no hesitation. She was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. He felt nothing but purpose. His mind was clear, his goal in sight. The world narrowed to a single point: getting in, getting out, and leaving no trace behind. And the nightmare was about to begin. In the darkness, Roy Finch was more than a drifter. He was the watcher in the shadows, and tonight, he would change Clara's life forever. At 2:17 a.m., Clara slept, Pip at her feet. A creak downstairs. Pip growled, alert. Clara stirred, fear prickling as she heard footsteps in the hallway. Frozen, she reached for her phone, but the bedroom door burst open. A masked man, tall, broad, stood in the doorway, eyes glinting. Pip lunged, barking, but was kicked aside with a sickening thud. Clara screamed, but the man's hand clamped over her mouth. Cold metal pressed to her temple. "Don't scream! Where's the money?" he hissed. Panic overwhelmed her. She couldn't think, couldn't breathe. The world blurred into terror and violence. Her sanctuary was shattered. The night had turned deadly, and Clara's life would never be the same. Dawn broke over Maple Creek, but something was wrong at the Yellow House. The front door stayed closed, curtains drawn, Pip silent. Mailman Dave noticed first. No answer, no barking. He circled to the back and saw the kitchen window open, the rosebush trampled. Dread filled him as he called 911. Police arrived to chaos drawers ransacked, the back door unlocked. Upstairs they found Clara, alive, barely, terrified and silent. Pip lay still in the corner. The ambulance took Clara. Animal control took Pip. The peace of Maple Creek was shattered. The investigation began. The town's innocence was gone, and nothing would ever feel safe again. Maple Creek police were unprepared for violence like this. Detective Miles Corbin led the case, combing Clara's house for evidence. Fingerprints, fibers, a muddy footprint, a torn piece of blue fabric, each clue carefully collected. Clara, in shock, described a tall man, masked, gravelly voice. The description was vague, but neighbors recalled a drifter doing odd jobs, someone new. The trampled rosebush yielded the torn fabric. A partial print from the window narrowed the search. Detective Corbin canvassed businesses, showing sketches. Slowly, the pieces came together. The ghost had left traces. Corbin was determined to give him a name. The hunt was on, and the town waited for answers. The evidence pointed to Roy Finch, a drifter, last seen wandering the dimly lit sidewalks of Elm Street. He was a man with no roots, drifting from town to town, always on the edge of suspicion. His presence in Maple Creek had gone mostly unnoticed, until the night everything changed. Investigators found muddy work boots discarded behind a motel, the same size and tread as the footprint left at the scene. A torn shirt, stained and frayed, matched the fabric clutched in Clara's hand. Each piece of evidence drew the net tighter around Roy. police raided his cramped motel room. Though Roy had vanished, he left behind a trail of incriminating evidence: receipts, a bloodied rag, and a hastily packed bag. It was clear he'd left in a hurry, desperate to escape. An all-points bulletin went out across the county. Officers scanned bus stations, truck stops, and back roads, determined not to let him slip away. Roy was finally caught at a bus station, nervously clutching a ticket, trying to disappear into the night. His escape was over. In the harsh light of the interrogation room, confronted with the mounting evidence, Roy broke. He confessed, but there was no remorse in his voice, only bitterness and anger at being caught, his eyes cold and unrepentant. The trial was swift. The jury found him guilty, and the judge sentenced him to 30 years behind bars. Justice, at least, was served. Clara survived the ordeal, but her sense of safety was shattered. The shadows in her home seemed longer, the nights colder. She struggled to find peace, haunted by memories of that night. Unable to stay in the house where it happened, she sold it and moved in with her daughter. Together they tried to rebuild, finding comfort in each other's presence. Pip, her loyal dog, survived after surgery. His recovery became a small beacon of hope, a symbol of resilience and the will to heal, even after the darkest night. Maple Creek was changed forever. Neighbors locked their doors tighter, and strangers were met with wary glances. The sense of innocence the town once had was gone. The night, once a time for rest and dreams, became a reminder of what had been lost. Sleep came harder, and silence felt heavier. Darkness had found its way in, seeping into every corner, leaving a mark that would not soon fade. The town gathered to remember, holding vigils and leaving flowers on the street corner. The pain was shared, and so was the determination to never forget. And as the moon rose over Maple Creek, the stillness of the night would never feel the same again.